the lab profile is not a personality test. There's lots of personality tests that say you are this way. The lab profile doesn't do that. You see, each of the motivation triggers and the productivity patterns from the lab profile are contextual. You know, we don't behave the same way at home as we do it on holiday. We don't behave the same way when we're in a grocery store or when we're buying a car. Our motivation triggers, what it is we want, what we want to avoid, that can all shift depending on where we are, who we're with, and what we're trying to do. So the lab profile gives you a live methodology that you can use right in a conversation to understand, predict, and influence a person right in that context. You'll know exactly what to say and what not to say because you'll understand the words that change minds. And it could be very different for that same person in a different context. But that's what the lab profile enables you to do. It really reflects all the richness that human beings have. We don't always do the same thing in the same way 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And you can find out what's going on for somebody and meet them at their bus stop in every live conversation that you have. Let's imagine there's a couple having an argument and one person knows they're right and can hear everything that the other person is saying that they disagree with or that they think is wrong. The problem is, if there's a conflict going on, the other person in the couple feels exactly the same way. They know they're right and they can hear everything that the other person is saying that they disagree with. This can go on for ages, but what's going on at a below conscious level? Well, this person is operating out of a lab profile motivation trigger that we call internal. Internal is when you decide based on what's important to you and what your criteria are and what your values are. You decide for yourself. Well, one other thing's going on too. Because this person not only is deciding for themselves what's right and wrong and good and bad, they're noticing what the other person is saying and doing that they don't like. They're in what we call an away from trigger. This is a motivation trigger where you just notice the things that shouldn't be there. You can predict problems. They just jump out at you. You notice all the things you don't like. Like, for example, in another context, if you're reading and all the mistakes just jump out of the page or off the screen, you're in an away from mode. You notice what's wrong. And this is a particular motivation trigger that combined with internal helps to make a conflict. Why? One person is doing that, well, so's the other person. So they both know they're right and the other person is wrong. And they're hearing only what the other person is saying that they don't like. This can go on for ages and ages. And what's the solution? Well, when you learn the lab profile, you learn how to go to someone else's bus stop, find out what's important to them, and help get them on a bus where you can go somewhere useful together. Does this ever happen to you? You know you're right and the other person's wrong? Figure out. The lab profile can be of help to you. So now you know what's actually going on at a subconscious level when there's a conflict. That's why they last so long if you don't do something about it.